Good morning, students. Welcome to Good Samaritan School online classes. This is your social studies class, and today we are going to study our country, India. Political and administrative division. India is a vast country. For administrative purposes, the country is divided into 29 states and 7 union territories. Telangana became the 29th state of India and on 2nd June 2014. It was previously a part of Andhra Pradesh. Delhi is the national capital. The states have been formed mainly on the basis of languages. So, this is about the political and administrative division. So, total we have 29 states and 7 union territories. The 29th state is the latest one, which was Telangana, which was earlier a part of Andhra Pradesh. Let us now move on to physical division. So already you have studied the three different types of maps. One among them was the physical map. So here you can see this is a physical map of India. So let's have a look at the physical division. India is marked by a diversity of physical features such as mountains, plateaus, plains, coasts, and islands. Standing as sentinels in the north are the lofty snow capped Himalayas. Himalaya means Him plus Alaya mean the abode of snow. The Himalayan mountains are divided into three main parallel ranges. The northernmost is the Great Himalaya or Himadri. The world's highest peak are located in this range. Middle Himalaya or Himachal lies to the south of Himadri. Many popular hill stations are situated here. Find out the names of 5 hill stations. The Shivalik is the southernmost range. So there are 3 different ranges. The uppermost is the Himadri or the Great Himalaya. Then is the Middle Himalaya, which is the Himachal. And the last one is Shivalik. The northern Indian plains lie to the south of the Himalayas. They are generally level and flat. So they are like plain land. These are formed by the alluvial deposits laid down by the rivers, the Indus, the Ganga, the Brahmaputra, and their tributaries. These river plains provide fertile land for cultivation. That is the reason for high concentration of population in these plains. So, because of the presence of these rivers, the area has a very fertile land, because of which a lot of people started living there. In the western parts of India lies the Great Indian Desert. It is a dry, hot, and sandy stretch of land. It has very little vegetation because it is a desert. To the south of northern plains lies the peninsular plateaus. It is triangular in shape. The relief is highly uneven. This is a region with numerous hill ranges and valleys. Aravalli Hills, one of the oldest ranges of the world, border it on the south on the northwest side. The Vindhyas and the Satpuras are the important ranges. The rivers Narmada and Tapi flow through these ranges. These are west flowing rivers that drain into the Arabian Sea. The Western Ghats or Sahyadris border the plateau in the west, and the Eastern Ghats provide the eastern boundary. So you can see how beautifully our country is having all these. While the Western Ghats are almost continuous, the Eastern Ghats are broken and uneven. So you can see in the map the Western Ghats are continuous, but the Eastern Ghats are broken. This line denotes the Ghat. And here is the coastal areas. Okay, students. The plateau is rich in mineral like coal and iron ore, so it is also good for industries. To the west of the Western Ghats and the east of Eastern Ghats lie the coastal plains. The western coastal plains are very narrow. The eastern coastal plains are much broader. There are a number of east flowing rivers. The rivers Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri drain into the Bay of Bengal. These rivers have formed fertile deltas at their mouth. The Sundarban Delta is formed where Ganga and Brahmaputra flow into the Bay of Bengal. So, in the map, you can see the rivers as well. Here, you can see the Mahanadi River, and it is then going into its water is flowing into the Bay of Bengal. So, children, for your homework, you have to observe the map properly and also take a physical map of India and then mark these in your map carefully. If you don't have a physical map, you can use a political map as well. So, I hope you understood this. We will meet again in the next class.